Hello, this is Max, and today we're going to be working on the cello part for Dark Visions by Kevin Mixon. So on the first page of this piece, there's a lot of sections where some of the notes have accents over them and some of them don't. So it's very important to differentiate in terms of how much pressure you're putting on the string between the notes that don't have accents and the notes that do. So we're going to take it from right from measure 9 where the cellos come in, and let's practice putting a little bit more emphasis and bow pressure on the half notes and quarter notes and eighth notes that have accents on them. So we're going to play from measure 9 through the end of measure 12. Okay, so we're going to do this little 4-bar phrase. We'll do it a little under tempo too. 1, 2, 3, 4. I went a little farther, but you get the idea, is that we put a little bit more oomph on the notes that have accents. I would maybe overdo it so that you really, really get a sense of which notes have accents and which don't. It's better to overdo it and then have your orchestra director rein you in a little bit than to not give them enough, okay? So the other thing we have is all of these little special effects on the second page, okay? So starting at measure 34, we have to play our first finger B, sol ponticello, which means that we play it very close to the bridge, okay? So it's not a very pretty sound. It's kind of a nails on a chalkboard type of sound, but the composer is using it for a very specific effect, okay? So when we do, normally we would play halfway between the bridge and the fingerboard. But now we're going to play it sol ponticello right near the bridge. So kind of an uncomfortable sound, but again, it's exactly what the composer wants there. So make sure you get the really gritty, kind of uncomfortable sound that is the sound of sol ponticello, okay? The other thing we have is we have all of these foot stomps followed by striking the body of the instrument. So again, use common sense, right? We want to be careful when we do tap the instrument. So we're not going to hit it really hard, right, with our knuckles or anything. I would just use the tips of your fingers to just kind of lightly tap it like that. So the foot stomps will be boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, boom, and then we say shh. This is in measure 40 through 41. And then we'll have our bow ready to do a big glissando on the D string, okay? So in 4 beats, because we have 4 beats in a measure, you have to make your way all the way down to the downbeat of 43, which is first finger E. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're back to playing actual notes, okay? So let's just try that section at 34, okay? We're going to play sol ponticello for 6 measures, and then we go into the foot stomps and the striking of the instrument, and then we go into our glissando, okay? So here we go. Bow's right next to the bridge. I'll give us 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The other thing about the accents is if you want to bring them out also with making the vibrato faster. That's another way that you can sort of illustrate that these notes are accented. Okay? All right, so the other extended technique thing we have is at measure 56. We play that F natural tremolo, okay? Which means that we play sort of at the upper half of the bow. I don't know if you can see me. I'll just do it here. and it's an unmetered thing. So we just move the bow as quickly as we can. Okay, if you try to do it with your arm, it's not going to work because it's too big of a muscle group. So all of the movement has to be in your fingers and your wrist. Okay, so it takes some practice, and if you try to force it, it's probably not going to work out too well. Okay, so you have to just relax and just kind of let it happen. That your fingers and knuckles are moving at that rapid speed, okay? So at 55, it's going to be fortissimo. It's going to be... 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's try playing through the whole thing. We're going to start at measure 9. We'll take a little break for me to turn the page. We don't play in that time anyway. And then we'll go to the second page. All right. So starting on F sharp, do 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's page 2. We're going to start at measure 34. And remember, we have our bow right near the bridge for the sole ponticello effect. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shh. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So again, just be careful to differentiate the accented notes from non-accented notes. Okay, it's going to make it much more rhythmically interesting. Be very specific with the sort of special effects and the extended technique. You know, the glissando, it has to be done in 4 beats, right? We have to be very, very careful to not damage our instrument when we do the tapping, and also making the sole ponticello as rhythmic as possible, okay? So that even though it's kind of an uncomfortable sound, we still have to be as rhythmically accurate as if we were playing in the normal way, okay? And then careful with some of the crescendos. Make sure you leave room for yourself dynamically to be able to crescendo up to fortissimo and forte. A lot of this is at mezzo forte. It's easy to maybe get too aggressive too quickly. So just be careful of that. Really keep your dynamics in check so that you have places to build in sort of the more climactic areas. All right. So that's Dark Visions, and thank you for joining me today, and happy practicing.